guys, welcome to unMadeGaming, where it wasn't a shit show, and you're here for the final episode of Unsung, our brand new and finally over so that Johnny can take a breath and not have to worry about airships anymore campaign of the new Emberwind RPG.
I can stop dreaming about bridges.
Yeah, right? We made it the entire rest of the campaign and didn't have to cross a bridge. Let's hope we can make it through the rest of the episode without having to do that. That being said, I'm here with the wonderful Chelsea, a.k.a. Little Red Dot. I'm here with Sam Wiz and Fool. I'm here with John Helvers, one of the editors for the game. And, of course, as always, last and most least, Johnny, a.k.a. the Video Store Cowboy. If you guys want to check out our Patreon and support the channel, please go check that out. Also, if you want to support this show specifically and you want to fuck us up or not, for the last episode, please check in the donation section down below for all the fun ways you can interact with the show. That being said, Johnny, take us away into the skies of Axia for the last time.
Previously on Unsung. Gelspar's salvation was at hand, and the group couldn't have been more in danger. Having slipped the hearth crystal out of the Drake, Nalos floated down toward the unknown situation in the Starlight Commons. With Red attempting to draw away the airships pursuing them, Cathbad and Talon jumped from the accelerating Drake to escape to the safety of rooftops. Looking to give them all a little more time, Red aims the Drake into the side of a gigantic airship heading towards the group. It all seemed perilous, but Red made a choice. He jumped out the rear cargo hold door as the Drake headed on its collision course. Cathbad, Nalos, and Talon watched from a distance as Red fell to what they could only assume meant his death. But that was not Red's fate. Not today. In a swirl of robes and acrobatics, Red appeared a blur from a distance. Two pursuing airships were following the Drake, and Red landed on top of the first. As the Drake rammed into the gigantic airship and caused it to explode, Red dealt with a duo that were piloting the airship. Now in control of a new means of transportation, he pilots his way towards the Starlight Commons. However, before he reached his friends, he found himself face-to-face with an individual seated next to him dressed in motley. Meanwhile, Cathbad and Talon made their way to the Commons to find Nalos having seated the crystal in the mount. They also found him in a defensive position, surrounded by 20 chasers. When attempting an exchange to discuss the details over the chasers, a champion from the chasers inserted himself into the situation looking for the group's death. In true Nalos style, he intimidated the surrounding chasers with his leadership abilities, and the group is now only facing the champion. They dispatch him quickly, and Red arrives with a new airship. After assessing the situation, the group board Red's new airship and make their way toward another gigantic airship, slowly maneuvering to investigate the situation in the Commons as we fade in. Out the front viewport, you see an airship looming in the distance, galleon-sized, 4 stories tall, circular in nature, basically looking in a lot of ways like a huge Zeppelin. What's the plan here, guys? What are you doing?
Since we were in a chaser's airship, I thought we were actually going to try to board this one. Not ram it. I want to be very clear on that. We're going to try to board and see if we could take over from there. That's what I thought we left it last time.
I just like how this is Red's new airship.
Yeah.
I just need to come up with some way to make a Led Zeppelin joke at some point in this stream.
The Red Zeppelin?
Gotta get lead out.
Yeah, so red Zeppelin.
The Red Zeppelin.
You just gotta get the red out. Good night, folks. This has been 11 episodes of Emberwind.
You guys.
Yeah, we can try that. Fly casual.
Wow. Wow. Please tell me you did that on purpose.
I did.
Okay.
But don't look like you're flying casual.
Yeah.
My knowledge, says Cathbad, the plan is to board the ship. And do what when we get there?
Take the bridge? They won't see us coming.
I hate bridges.
That's what you did, Johnny, isn't it? That's what you did. You didn't put an actual literal bridge back in the final episode, but now we have to take the bridge of the airship and go full circle and end up back on a bridge.
And they'll have us land in the engine room, and there's a span we have to cross. Yeah,
Sam, crash the ship. I'm out.
So listen. Let me just be very clear about this. I never intended you guys to actually head for this airship.
I don't believe you.
So if anybody puts yourself on a bridge, it's you guys. So I'm just going to be very clear about that.
How about the command center? Is that better for you? Will that
I'm unhappy with
solve
our
your
current
feelings?
course of action. As a player, I'm unhappy. Now I'm unhappy with our current course of action. Just crash the ship, Red.
I mean, realistically, if we secure the bridge and then, we can crash that ship, we can escape on this one, and then we did it. We did the thing, I think.
Did the thing.
Honestly,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm not really sure what our job is anymore. I mean, we put the crystal in the thing.
Except the ships are still severing the chains. They're still going to knock Galadriel.
Gelspar?
Gelspar.
Close. We got this.
Going to knock Gelspar away from Adriel. That's the combo. I portmanteaued that bad boy. But I think we're still trying to stop the other big chaser ships from doing this.
Now, Talon, I am just learning, and you are the professional. But I do not remember being paid to stop airships from breaking chains. I remember being paid for putting a crystal and returning it.
Did you
Technically, we
get paid for
haven't got paid yet.
ramming that one ship into the other ship?
No, but that was very fun.
I haven't gotten paid.
You're already way beyond the tenets of this, but think about it. If you go back and say this is what we did, you can then name your own price to Maddox. I'm sure he'll be ever so grateful.
Cathbat's right, though. We haven't gotten paid yet.
I haven't gotten paid.
I wouldn't have thought you would have cared about that except for like a frog or something.
I don't really. Nobody uses frogs for payment.
That's
I
racist.
choose-
Talon.
It is snake skin
Name my
only. Frogs are.
But the other chance is you have the chance to upgrade your ship to something even bigger.
After Catbat says her thing about snake skin only, because frogs are worthless, Red will announce gloriously to everyone, "Perfect. I will name my price to Maddox. I like this plan. This is a good plan."
See, there you go. There you go. I want to tell the other players I've said nothing about whether Maddox will pay his price, but that's not the point.
I
I've got Red on board.
I missed the part about the plan.
Or the ship, take the command center, take over the ship. Red gets an even bigger ship. You like ships so much, I'm sure he'll love this whole big monster ship. And then we're supposed to like either shoot the other ships or ram them or something. I mean, the point was we're supposed to save Gelspar. The crystal's only one part of it.
You know what? At this point,
Red is correct. We could leave right now and go to Max and say, hey, we did it. It's not our fault that we were outnumbered, blah, blah, blah. We got the crystal, put it back. So...
At this point, yeah, that's fine. Do whatever, Red. We made it this far together.
Preferably not ramming it.
Well,
First half-assed
we
plan.
should be able to land on it, or at least do a
Landing.
boarding action with Cathbad, Nalos, and myself while you, fly above it. I think
You're all military savvy. Question. What would make these ships call off? Right?
orders from their commander, whoever is commanding it. If they ordered the attack to break off, that would probably do it.
Nalos.
Or the arrival of a bigger fleet that would blow them out of the sky. There's two options.
But there is no bigger fleet.
You said what would cause them to break off. I'm giving you the option.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course. Nalos,
Yeah.
who commands the air fleet?
Johnny, do I know who commands the air fleet of the Chasers?
You didn't know that the Chasers had an air fleet.
Oh, that's true.
That's
didn't
how
know.
super secret this whole
Yeah.
situation actually was.
Yeah, this is a really unpleasant surprise.
So, as far as I knew, they were a fairly low-level street gang that just was working their way up the chain. But I'm going to guess they have a stupidly painted face.
Oh, probably a specific color.
Yeah. Not red or gold.
Well, blue, purple,
Yeah.
green.
Red seems to be like a sergeant, and gold seems to be like a lieutenant.
I'm
So some other color.
colorblind.
Well, that doesn't help anyone, Cathbad.
So,
Are we, by the way, while we're having this discussion, are we approaching the big ship? Is that correct?
Yeah, but I think we're going pretty slow. So if somebody wants to say something to Red and ask him
We're just
why,
listing slowly to the left as we
How was your boat listing lazily to the left?
I do have one point of order. Everyone seems to be like looking and asking me questions about what we're doing with the airship. Am I the captain now? Because I thought Nalos was the captain. I'm okay being the captain, but I just want to make sure.
Technically, I was the captain of the last ship, but you crashed it. And this is a whole new ship. So, as far as you've explained to me how the inner workings of ship goes, I didn't help you take this ship, and therefore I cannot claim captaincy of it. Thus, this makes you A, a pirate, and B, the captain of the ship.
Way to promote yourself, Fred. Good job.
I've never actually been a pirate before, but all of that sounds about right. So
Yeah.
that seems good. And Fred just like hits the gas and we start actually going at decent speed.
All right.
You know,
Okay,
I've never
so-
tried to be a pirate before, but that checks out.
In accelerating towards the ship, instead of it growing slowly and heading towards you very slowly, your acceleration actually increases the, sort of the dynamic of the ship just sort of beginning to loom as it, kind of comes into the full, view, encompassing the outside of the sort of the viewports. And as you're doing that, you're noticing some other, airships about the size of the airship that you guys have commandeered are in a patrol pattern as it's kind of moving, in your general direction. Looking at it, you see that there are a couple of what look like open spaces or berths on the one side, allowing you to what looks like dock with the ship. You would need to, based on the way it looks, it's just like you would need to slide in sideways, coming in, very much like a Serenity style with those little ships that they have, right? But it would be like you'd land on the platform and then it would slide in, kind of a thing.
Looking frantically around this like crew compartment or whatever it is for face paint. Because we're disguising ourselves as the chasers, we kind of need to have faces that look like them. Otherwise, it's a dead giveaway.
I have here. I hold out this like very flat jar of this like gooey white kind of oily substance.
Can I ask a technical question? What's the gooey substance?
The last time you asked me what I was putting on all of your faces, you regretted it.
Yeah, why are you doing this?
I fully expect to regret this one too, but it has to be asked.
It has to be asked. Well, if you must know, it's a clay mask.
Oh.
For detoxing the pores.
That's bad. Avon agent.
Yeah.
Are we done?
I make it myself.
No.
And on that note, Talon keeps looking around the compartment, hoping he can find some like the chaser stuff because he's not sure. In a pinch, he will use that, but if they have stuff here,
I start like lathering this thick clay, like white clay.
Yep.
So I'm tempted by the clay.
Slap it on, Cathbad. And he steps over.
Talon, if you're looking for another type of face paint, I need you to give me either maybe a focus or even an sort of an insight.
Focus, baby. No, focus is good. Focus is good. What is insight? Yeah, they're both the same.
Can I help or something?
Hey, you're driving.
Sure.
Oh, I am driving. Yeah, I'm driving.
Yep, 11 out of 13. I got it.
Okay, so as you're kind of digging in, into the ship, as you watch Cathbad sort of lathering this clay substance all over Nalis's face, trying to to make that sort of skull shape. Mm-hmm. You do find a compartment with what appears to be various garb and materials for the chasers. There's a couple of blades in there. They're basically just like your daggers. There are
side, literally.
there are some cloaks or whatever, some other some street garb. But you do find actual grease paint to be able to that in a can that looks like the kind of stuff that they wear when they when you see them in their masks.
Is there a red can here? I really want a red can.
Nope, there's only white.
All right, fine. It's good enough. All right, I'll take it out. Smear it on my face.
I am gonna need a stealth check from everybody who's doing this.
Oh, all right.
I actually
Stealth.
just realized something.
Oop, oop, oop.
Oh yeah.
And I think that when at first Red seems like really into this, and then he sees Talon painting his face, and he's like, seems to come to a realization, and he's like, no, you know what, Talon? I'll be your prisoner. I'm not going to do that.
Okay, no problem. That's even better. That will help with our cover story even more so.
I just want to warn you, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You're probably going to get killed.
And as opposed to going in with a naked face and still getting killed.
Well, I saw one of the gods, and he does not like it when people make fun of him. Painting your face, dressing like a fool, it's not.
So why hasn't he struck down this entire gang for making fun of him? What's he napping on the job? Yeah, I keep smearing it like, look, dude, he's had his chance. These guys have been around for months. If he wanted to do something about it, he should have. I don't have time to waste on this.
But he didn't appear for them. He appeared for me.
But if you don't, so therefore, if you don't do it, you're fine. Since I don't believe in him anyways, it doesn't matter if I do it or not.
I don't know that's how
very frustrating. Thank you, Cathbad.
Well, look, if your God wants to have a conversation with me about it, I'm right here. Until the meantime, smear.
If I don't believe in you, does that mean you can't stab me with a sword?
Would you like to find out?
No, that's my point.
Okay.
Keep your hands on the wheels.
You've seen what I've done with my sword. You know I am very, 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 very real, Red. I want you to remember that.
You know what? It's your funeral.
Given the acceleration with which you engaged and the circumstances of that you were piloting, you're now really close to the airship, and they're beginning to take note of the fact that you're not either falling into a pattern.
Oh yeah, we're coming in hot. And I grab a cloak and throw it over my armor, by the way.
Hey, Cathbad.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if that was poop? And he points to Talon smearing his face. Huh. Right? Is it?
What he doesn't know is that oil is made from the internal bladder of a large space worm.
I have the... Ram the ship, Red.
I'm not going to do that. You said I was the captain, and I like to take over the ship plan because that ship is bigger.
Fine.
Red's gonna fly casual. I'm saying it again.
Well, fall in line or something.
And yeah,
he's parking it. He's gonna come in. We have a valuable prisoner. We need to take right to the captain of that ship immediately with information about the crystal.
I'm doing the thing after they make their. Oh, they already made their.
And then once
I don't know if it matters, but I failed mine.
Right, that's what I was wondering. And then what about Nalos? Nalos failed as well?
By the way, space worm bladder or not, I'm the one who made my freaking stealth check. I'm just
I didn't. Whatever Cathbad put on the two of us is shit.
Cat face.
It's a little, yeah. I feel like it's probably a little thick. It's a face mask. It probably like drips from the
But you
channel.
put it on like a feminine face mask, right? Like it's a cleansing face mask to clean our pores. Not in the shape of a skull at all.
Make your exfoliation check.
My skin is so dewy.
I'm so youthful.
All right, so Red, as you come in and you bring the ship.
I look at those two and just like, yeah, Red, you're definitely my prisoner. Yeah. Good
you
plan.
bring the ship in, Red, and it comes down onto the platform. And as it kind of seats itself, it slides into the ship. And so your view of the world kind of shifts from, you've got this big open azure sky as it's kind of, heading in that, in that general direction that was looking for you guys, as it kind of slides in, and all of a sudden you're in some sort of berth. And then there's a huge knock at the door.
Oh, I thought the ship knocked when it landed. Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. You look at Nalos and Cathbad. Oh, and grab like scarf. I must have something because I need to tie Red's hands up.
I have vines.
Weird, but sure. Tie him up. Well, chasers don't usually bring vines with them to do work. So, but
Well, if we find a better,
is there rope here or something?
we had a pair of handcuffs, didn't we?
I feel like that's the motto for this campaign. Weird, but sure.
There were some manacles around somewhere.
Yeah.
Grab those and
Yeah.
fasten them loosely so he can get out when he needs to. But then tell these two to follow my lead and go stomp over, like Talon transforms himself into the hulking warrior, white painted warrior, stomps over and whips the door open with Red actually in tow.
All right, we're going to switch over to the map setting. All right, here we go, guys. I didn't steal this from anybody at all. I did not borrow this from any other game. Nobody has ever seen this map before. It's great. I just want you guys to know that.
Great. I am convinced.
Oh,
What are we locking the air away from?
Johnny, make your the fast talk roll.
I know, right?
Exactly.
Like that.
All right, guys. So what you see is as the door opens, you see a chaser in white face, kind of pulling his part and beginning to lock down, elements on the ship to kind of moor it into the bedding. And you see this just wide, compartment. Although the area right next to where the ship is actually kind of narrow. And this guy is just kind of locking down. And he's like, what's going on? You guys weren't supposed to be coming back anytime soon. What are you doing here?
And I will step out, and Red needs to be right behind me. So if he will join me, I stomp down. And as I'm looking around, we need to see the captain right now. Looking for, I'm actually not even barely talking to him, looking around for the way out that I've been on probably ships like this, so I assume I have a general knowledge of it. Looking for the way that would take me to the command center.
So he's kind of, what's wrong with those two back there? I mean, I see your prisoner, but what's wrong with their faces? Are they new recruits?
Yes, they are. It's their first mission. I'd appreciate not to fuck up. Now, where is your captain? Right now.
You're gonna have to hold on a second. I've got to get the ship secured down before otherwise it can spin off and
point me the way, and then do whatever shit you're doing here. This cannot wait. It's about the hearth crystal.
Give me an intimidate check.
Gladly. Intimidate. Now watch.
I hope you're good at this. You seem like the type of guy who would be good at it.
I am good at it.
Okay,
9 out of 16, so yes.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
All right, so he just he's like looking at them, looking at you, looking at them, looking at Red as the prisoner. He's like, all right, and he gets out of your way and he moves back sort of this direction to lock the back end. And as you step out into sort of the area proper, you see that there's another chaser sort of at the front, kind of locking things down. And he kind of moves out of your way too. And there are two exits to this particular room actually that I didn't reveal. Sorry, guys.
Okay, Red, stay with me, please. Because you kind of don't have a choice. Because I got your manacle chain, kind of like hauling you along. Either one look more likely. Let's see. We came in on the side. Which direction is the front of the ship in?
You would know from the colloquial knowledge or common knowledge that the airships, the engine is going to be, or the engine compartment is going to be in the back, and that there is going to be a bridge towards the front.
You said it, not me. All right, which direction?
Hey, you guys brought it in first. That's all I'm saying.
Which direction is the front of the ship? Like over here?
You from entering in the ship, yes, it would be this particular direction. Come on, let me ping. What's wrong? Why can't I ping? Hello, ping. All right, there we go. Right there.
Yep. All right, start dragging Red over to this door, and we're gonna march through it if no one says anything, and even if they do, I don't care.
Okay, so in dealing with kind of stepping out into the ship proper, you're overwhelmed with a series of smells. There's the smell of gunpowder, and there is the light thrumming that is coming through the bulkhead of the surrounding compartment. And as you're kind of looking at the surrounding sort of docking area, there's a bunch of moorings and a bunch of parts, and it's clear that this is a berth where they will either maintenance or manage the ship, the smaller ships that sort of come in. There's something that really strikes all of you as you're making your way towards that particular door. Everything is a lot cleaner than you expect. Like, this isn't clearly just the airship of a street game.
No, it's been borrowed. Exactly. Yeah, I'm
And so before you step out,
I go, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not trying to comment on it. What are the other two doing? Are they still sitting back on the ship?
No, we're coming with you. We're just quiet because you said they're recruits and they'll shut up and come with us.
Okay,
So
can you follow us on the map, please?
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, yes, of course. I think I'm the gray one, right?
yes.
I was
I was
doing.
you gray. We need to. Let me fix that real quick. And so as you guys step out into the, oh wow, your icon is gray. Period. Oh, it's just because it's so light. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I just wanted to make sure that was the right one.
Yeah, totally. Right. So as you step out, from this door, you step out into sort of a much larger compartment, and you can't see either end of the compartment because it's actually pretty dark inside of here. There appears to be some running lights that line this area, but the bulbs are very dim. This is they're throbbing with their pulse of their light. So like it dims and it gets brighter, it dims and it gets brighter. And so what you see out in front of you is this walkway that leads both to the front of the ship and towards the rear of the ship. And over this walkway, down is what looks to be 2 or 3 stories, depth in the airship. And from a distance, you can see towards the other side just vaguely that there are compartments down there. And for Talon, looking at this, you recognize this as a very common sort of like situation for an airship that is designed for war combat. You know that the gun placements, the gun batteries are on the lower levels.
Yeah, okay. Officers on top, the gun crews at the bottom. That makes sense. Actually, that's perfect. So on the walkway, then we'll start heading toward what I hope is the front of the ship and going this way.
Okay, so no. The walkway. Okay, let me just fix something for you guys real quick. The walkway is basically it doesn't really matter at this particular point, but yeah, that's basically.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, that's.
I see.
Yeah. We're too big for the walkway.
You are too big for the walkway. So, right. So you get to this particular point, and you see that there's a stairway or there's a ladder, kind of leading into the lower levels. And then there's a doorway there, and that's generally where you would expect the bridge of the ship to be.
Excellent. All right.
And so as you get to that door, it's locked.
Of course.
Indeed. Let's see. How sturdy does this door look, considering this is not a chaser airship?
It looks like an airlock.
Oh, I see. Didn't know they had such a thing. Okay.
If we can't get into the bridge, we can always just try to blow it up.
There's nobody around, right?
I like Plan B.
What is B?
Blow up.
They're blowing up.
Letter after A. It's like a sequential. It's like Plan number 2.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of gunpowder in here.
So you want to blow this ship up? And potentially the others.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we would have our own ship to fly away on, but
if not, that could be an issue.
Well, it wasn't before. I thought it was going to be an issue last time as well, and it turned out great.
Yeah, I've fallen gracefully from an airship before. It was fine.
Well, I haven't, and I prefer not to at this particular point in my life.
Actually, with Talon.
Either way, I don't know that we could really hold the bridge even if we took it. So I think maybe blowing it up and making a fine offering to the god would be a better idea anyway. That way he won't smite you, Talon.
Anytime he's ready. But if you want to move to that, particular aspect, I'm down for that too. Anything to take this thing out of commission. Are we adjourned to the gun deck?
I have a thought.
Let's hear it.
What if we draw them away from here before we explode them?
Yeah.
If we gain control of this ship, draw them away from the islands, and get them into combat, we can explode them there, and we can escape on Red's new ship, the one below, the tiny one.
Hey. Agile, sleek, not tiny.
Okay, but we still have the problem of getting to the bridge to be able to move the ship off course, to commandeer it.
Okay, what would make the bridge open these doors?
Fire, probably?
A
On the
key.
inside?
Oh, well, they...
What kind of key device does this look to have, Johnny?
It looks to have some sort of gigantic, shit, what's the word I'm looking for? It has a sort of a latch that would be triggered by or be used by rotating a lever, like a
And wait,
No,
like a
love it.
sub seals?
like a sub seal. But the thing is that when you try to use it to engage it, it only goes so far before it's clear that it's locked in some way or latched
From the other side.
from the other side. That is correct.
Okay. Well, there must be some kind of word or code or something that they have. Can we potentially take it from the little dumbass who met us at the...
Sure, we can try. I'm down for that. Or we could beat on the door and hope they would try to let us in, but I don't think you're probably right. They probably have some sort of code or something that you have to give.
As you're having this conversation, as this little exchange is happening, another chaser steps out from the door over here behind you and kind of he steps out and is starting to head towards the aft of the ship, and he kind of looks around and he says, what's going on here?
I slap Red upside the head and I'm like, shut up, you prisoner, you.
Good. All right. I immediately take while she's beating poor Red, I get in this
You
guy's
just like whack him one time across the head.
space and tell him that we need to see the captain of this ship immediately.
Just press the button and give the code.
I look right at Talon.
And I grab him and pretty much headbutt him in the face.
Oh,
No, I'm going to be able to talk him out of this. I'm going to have to try to beat him
I
out
was
of it.
I was gonna try to talk about it. It's fine.
I was thinking we could guess the password, but these are much better.
Yes, well, that's what I'm doing. So,
All right, a surprise attack of some kind. Give me whatever it is that you're going to roll, and then we'll go into structured time. If you don't do enough damage to this guy to make him pass out, or to submission, put him into submission.
let's see. That's a 12, so it is a hit. I assume I didn't have heavy grip activated, so I did hit him. It did not penetrate this time, but I did hit him.
Okay.
I'm not sure what a basic physical attack is really going to do to somebody, so I'm just going to make that up on the fly.
I'm assuming that it's going to be, given the way that everything else has kind of worked, it would be about the same as, straight up dagger damage.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like the hand axe, the throwing dagger. Exactly.
Right.
I'm really trying to overbear him. I'm really trying to take him by surprise so I can kind of get him to do this before he even kind of knows what's happening, which is why I did what I did.
So instead of that, why don't we just say that you physically intimidated him and grab you?
That'll work.
You succeed based on that roll. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Now tell me what happens when you grab him and just kind of do that.
Okay. Stick my face in and say, I don't have time. Open the door now, and shove him over to the door.
I
And he
pressed
kind
the
of-
button for him.
Well, it's interesting because he said something and it wasn't obvious to you guys. There actually wasn't a button that you could see. He reaches up and says, I don't know what's going on. All right. Are you guys from the attack that's happening on the ground? And he reaches up and
Yes.
he presses something on top of the door. And you see that there's a little light that kind of goes on, a little red light that goes on above the door that you didn't actually see before.
Right.
And you hear some shuffling behind it, and he says, "Which division are you guys with?" As there's a double knock from the other side, and he knocks twice, pause, once, pause, a longer pause, and then does two more knocks. And when he does that, the door actually opens and there's a bit of a pressure shift for just a second. And he says, these guys are from the ground. They must have come up in the ship. I'm not sure what's going on, but you got to watch out for that one. He's a little rough as he points to Talon.
Yeah, already shoving Red in.
Yeah, we're into.
Chamber.
Yep.
And it's okay. Thank you. And charge in, and there's someone on the inside.
There
Same
is.
thing. Yeah, same thing.
I'm gonna take him with us. He's coming in with us because he knows we're here.
True.
So you're bringing that guy. You're bringing that guy into the.
Oh, don't you know it? Yeah, I'm not letting him go.
Okay. All right. So you drag him inside, and inside you see what appears to be a red-faced chaser, and he kind of looks at the situation and says, "What the hell's going on here? What is this? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be on the ground."
Forward. Yes, we were just wiped out by this guy and others. Our gold leader was destroyed. He was burned in front of my eyes. He has information about the crystal. I need to talk to the captain right now.
No information.
Shut up, you.
Yeah.
I actually don't. I've been just flying around. Did you see that big explosion? I crashed my airship into a bigger airship. It was pretty cool.
His hand is starting to move towards the blade at his waist, and he's kind of assessing the situation and looking back from Talon to Red and looking at Nalos and Cathbad.
Are we through into this room here?
You are into that room there.
Okay. All right. Let's get set up here. So he's there. Red is somewhat near me. Is Nalos back in the hallway still on the catwalk?
Oh no, I'm over here playing Theater of the Mind. Hold on. There you go. We're not in combat. I don't look at maps. Assume I'm with you.
Okay, that's what I need to know. All right, it's like, and so anyways, destroy the crystal and one of our airships. He has information about it. I need to talk to the captain right now. Take us through, or do I have to go through you?
Do you see the color of my face?
Is the door closed?
No.
But
It's not closed.
What color is his face?
He's red.
Red.
Someone's red.
Oh, okay.
If the captain doesn't get this information, both yours and my insides will match the color of your face in about 5 seconds.
I'm going to decorate my face again with your blood if you do not back down and explain everything to me right now.
That's how they got red.
Oh.
I say to Talon.
So while this exchange is going on, and as Talon is kind of playing point man in this situation with Red, Cathbad and Dallas notice some really interesting things about this room. It appears to be sort of a staging area, and there's like various gear here that seems recognizable, but that's not what stands out to you. What stands out to you is there's this interesting design sort of inlaid on the floor. And Nalos, you recognize it as the same design that was on the crest that you found on the gold-faced champion for the Chasers.
Wait, they're the same symbol?
The same symbol inlaid on the floor.
Oh.
And so the red faced guy just kind of looks at Talon and says, "I don't hear you telling me a story."
All right. Our unit was sent to secure Starlight Commons, which we did. Old leader was there, and then the ship screams it out of nowhere, discharges this guy and 2 others, and a hearth crystal, which they then put into place and flamed our entire unit. We managed to capture him. And I brought him up here because I knew the captain would want the information about the crystal and what these guys are doing and who they're working for. Meanwhile, my hand under my cloak is sneaking towards my sword so I can fast draw it if I need to gut this guy.
And you need to see the captain because you need to convey this information?
Yes, it might change the whole plan of what we're doing.
What made you think to come up here was the right place to do that?
I wasn't going to talk to the Schlub's on deck securing our ship. Where else am I going to go? I didn't run into anyone in command until you.
And we were being chased by his friends. It's time sensitive.
Oh, my friends are coming for you. And they're very scary friends.
Alan, roll me a fast talking at advantage.
I was going to say a straight-faced roll, but that'll work too. Okay.
Fast talking at advantage.
All right. Advantage! Yay! I like advantage. I so rarely get it. I will take that. What the hell?
7.
Oh, it is. I'll take the 7. It added it together. I'll take the 7. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll take the 17.
Yeah. Like what? All right.
He kind of looks at you and he says, "So, what made you not go back to the ground division HQ?"
There was no one left down there.
We killed them all.
I smack him. Shut up, prisoner.
It's true, though.
Why haven't we seen any flares from the ground to indicate that it was gone?
You think we would let you shoot flares up?
Whap! I told you there was no one left. The flares went up when he immolated Gold Leader in a column of fucking flame. Do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, Red Face? And
Also, I saw a guy.
Off.
And so he kind of looks at you for a second. Wait here. And he looks over to the other, sort of regular, the white face. He's like, don't let them leave. And that's when the door closes to the airlock as he steps back through into the other room. And what you see from the other room is, as the door opens and closes, is not an airlock, but it is, some sort of more of a sturdy door. And inside looks to be a single seat sort of cockpit situation. And there appears to be somebody in there, and he steps back into that room and closes the door.
I thought there would have been something a little bit larger for such a...
That leaves just one of them in here with us?
That leaves just one of them in there with you right now.
Yeah, poor number 8.
Okay, Red is going to pretend now to make a big show of breaking out his manacles that aren't actually
Okay,
secure.
cool. Okay.
And then he's going to shout, I'm commandeering this airship, and slam the door closed.
Which door are you slamming closed?
Yeah.
The one behind us closed.
The one behind us, so that we're sealing the entrance.
Okay. All right, as you do that...
I'll shout, he's loose.
Oh no, this is some kind of takeover.
Oh, we gotta work on direct.
All right,
We're hired for mercenary work and not action.
There is treachery
situation. Before that, we actually go to structure time. What are you guys doing?
Drawing.
Okay, so red slams the door. That's the surprise action.
Mm-hmm.
Talon is drawing. What are Cathbat and Nalos doing? Because this guy that's in the room with you is starting to get a clue that there is something wrong here.
I was not prepared for this. I signed up just for a few coin.
What am I doing? I'm watching all this go down.
You are sure watching this all go down.
That's what I'm. No, that's my choice of what I'm doing. It's like I'm just gonna step back and let this play out.
Okay.
I will take my turn when it's necessary, but nobody suspects me right now.
I'm incognito.
That's
all right.
These can't do their job.
Nalos, what are you doing?
No, that was it. I was not prepared for this. I had no intention to give my life for the. Yeah, I'm playing. I'm a new recruit. I was told that I was a new recruit, and I'm playing the new recruit.
Oh, you're gonna give your life because this is my ship now.
Please don't kill me.
Captain Red.
I'm not worth anything. Just let me live. And
I'm shouting at the chaser. Could you get a little help here before he kills us all?
All right, guys. Structured time. Who's going first?
I think Red.
Looks like Red's going.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Yes, let's
I take my free action to make popcorn and watch.
Do we get? By the way, do we get a full turn on that surprise action, or just a surprise action? How are you?
You get a full turn on the surprise action. I mean, that's what I was saying. What are you guys doing?
Okay, I just wanted to draw and set heavy grip. That's all. Then I'm good to go. That's fine. While I'm talking, saying to help, give me some help here. This guy's crazy. He'll kill us all. That's literally what I'm saying.
I'm assuming closing the door is taking my time.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Red is going first. All you can see is the grunt right now. So anybody else want to go with Red before the grunt goes?
No, I want to go after the grunt. This is very important.
Nalos, Cathbad, when would you like to go?
I guess I can go. I was just gonna take a free action and keep watching.
You can hold your action.
You can hold slow action.
You don't want to like take one of your actions and like add some salt to that popcorn that you're like, maybe a little butter. Maybe you take a little extra time and do a little kettle corn or something.
Just say it.
Here's what's happening here. Red is there's about to be a fight, and then the other guys are gonna be like, "Everything all right in there?" And we're gonna be like, "Yeah, it's fine. How are you?
Everything's fine. How are you?"
Yep.
All right, here we go. All right, Red, go for it. What are you doing?
So here's a question. I'm guessing I don't have my spear on me because I'm supposed to be a prisoner.
Yeah, I kind of couldn't let you take that with, buddy. Sorry.
I'm assuming that Talon has brought it with him. Like it's on his person.
So maybe that was part of it. I like grabbed the spear as I was like kicking the door closed. Okay, yeah. So I'll smack this guy with my spear and my Kie strike. We haven't seen Red actually hit someone in a little while because I've been doing other stuff like driving airships into them.
Yeah, ramming them and all that stuff. Exactly.
Come on. 12 will hit.
All right. Roll me damage, buddy.
I will roll some damage for you. Let me check. All right. 2d8 versus toughness. That does not penetrate because I haven't taken a bunch of damage yet, so I don't have my good bonuses yet.
Well, so here's the thing about this guy. It doesn't matter whether it penetrates or not because he's not actually wearing any type of armor. He's on an airship.
Fair. Good point.
All right, so your first attack goes off, and you whack him. You whack him with your pole arm, and he's kind of like stepping back, and he's kind of taken aback by the situation, and starting to reach for his blade. You have another long action long action to be able to go with. So.
I'm gonna activate a trigger.
Shit!
And I slip my hands up, and you just see Nalos in all of his acting prowess go, "Oh my God, he stabbed him right there in the wound." And I'm gonna use energizing victory. If another hero hits a foe with an action, that hero's next fast action is a free action.
Cool, awesome. In that case, I'll take another slow action to do another attack with my weapon. And then I will huck a knife with a fast action that becomes a free action.
So, real quick, Red, are you standing in front? You're standing for the door because you said you closed the door.
Yeah, right? Sorry, I forgot to move myself.
Yeah, that's important. That's okay. Perfect. That's right where I need you to be. That's great.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. All right. So first is the spear. That will hit. For another 10 damage, and then the knife will hit for, I think this is just 2d6, right? Yep. 4 damage.
All right. So in rapid succession, as this guy is just taking in the situation and surprised, he begins to pull his blade. The hits keep on coming. Two strikes, and then the blade goes out, and you can see the surprise on his face as he drops to his knees and then just kind of falls to the wayside. And you hear from and he makes a thump against the door, and you hear from the other side, "What's going on out there?"
I am Red. greatest.
Nothing. Everything's fine.
Everything's
How are you?
fine. Just a little problem with the prisoner. No big deal.
Let's do it in a minute.
How are you guys?
We're and you hear from the behind the door. There's a problem with the prisoner. Jesus.
I think we have it under control.
We handled it.
Get some backup. The great
Backup. Get some backup. All right. Who is the dominant voice here? Because that's the person we're going to pay attention to.
What backup?
No, it doesn't matter. I want them to be confused over what's going on out here. So the louder we all yell, the better for everybody.
Why? But then they'll call backup.
I don't want a telephone.
Who has the best fast talking?
Probably.
I have the best.
Dallas.
I have the best leadership. I don't have fast talk.
This is all about confusion. This is about fast talking.
I think we're all very bad at fast talk.
Yeah.
I have an 8.
Same here.
Yeah, that's what I got.
I mean, I can't believe I made the first fast talking roll.
Please roll.
Oh no.
Who's rolling? Me?
Why are you
doing it? Roll a
Wow.
And I turn around this time, look like I'm gonna reach to smack Red, and I actually smack Talon. I'm like, we need no backup. It's fine. Prisoner has been subdued, right, prisoner? And like jab Red.
I'll never give in.
Shut up, prisoner!
Even with both of my feet cut off.
As they are. Currently.
Enough. And then I simply yell behind the door, please proceed as you were, but we aren't timely. Could speak to the captain now.
All right, the captain's coming out in just a second.
Feet cut off.
And so as you know, sort of the as this exchange is kind of going on, you hear some sort of shifting behind, and the airship kind of lurches a little bit under everybody's feet, and then there's a shift again where the motion is continuing, and the door begins to open, and you can see that the person in the red face has replaced the person that's coming out, who has a blue skull on their face. Interesting thing about that, though. Inside of the blue skull in the forehead, as it kind of wraps around the face, the symbol on the floor and on the medallion that Dallas recovered is drawn inside of the skull's forehead. As he steps out, and he kind of looks and he says,
"It's still paint, right? Or like whatever the fuck."
It's still paint.
Okay.
Yes. But this looks the face, the work on the face for the chaser here looks intricate. Like it's not just like Talon slathered it on and did the whole thing, or Cathbat and Nalos did the same thing with the clip. This is intricate. It looks like it was done in such a way that it was painstakingly meticulous about painting this on the face, including the symbol on the forehead.
So what you're saying is we can assume that he's got pizza face underneath there because all of his pores are blocked and it's very unhealthy for his skin.
It's true. You could use a clay mask.
Charcoal. I heard charcoal also works great for exfoliating your pores.
So is he stepping out? Is he stepping out?
He steps out and he kind of looks and assesses the situation. What does the group look like? Because Red has just taken this guy out. What does Red look like
I grab Red when he comes through the door. I play it up. I shake him a little bit, stop struggling. And
he is still holding his spear and has his hands free.
I'm terrified. I just want to go home.
He killed him before we could subdue him. And I knock his knees out.
I've never seen a man die so fast.
My partner is having flashbacks. So,
Shadi, can you position this guy in the room so I can see where he is, please?
Oh, sure. Let me eliminate the other guy at the same time. The other guy's gone. Yep. Hold on just a second. Let's bring him in, and he is going to be right there at the door as.
Perfect. Okay. All right, that's finally who I wanted. So I can't remember what the symbol was of some other noble house. Was that what it was?
It was an ancient noble house from before the time the
before
cat.
the calamity. Oh,
Yes.
oh.
I don't remember if Dallas told you guys that. He just told you it was
He
for,
may not have come to think of it.
Yeah, I think he said it was for a noble house that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Okay. I mean, Alan does not really keep up on ancient noble house crap, so it doesn't really matter. All right. Well, this is actually the guy we want, so screw it. And since it is my action, I put the tip of my sword under his chin. It's about damn time, and I'm talking completely normally now. We're commandeering your vessel. If you move, I will skewer your brain.
Oh no, a mutiny. This is not what I expected.
I did tell you.
If he even flexes, I am going to drive the point right through his throat and out the back of his head.
Ooh.
Roll and intimidate.
Okay. Do I get a bonus for having my sword at his throat?
Don't need it.
8 out of 16, so that's a pretty decent roll, all things considered.
He looks at you and he says, all right, it's your vessel. But I don't step back into that room and take control of this ship. You're in trouble.
What?
We already got
I've
something to do
been
that.
in trouble for the last few weeks.
You know, technically it's only been about 72 hours, but that's
I've been in trouble for the last 72 hours.
he
But
kind of
it
looks at
feels
you.
like much longer.
I feel like I've been in trouble since I joined the Chasers.
You can let it go now.
All right, wheel him up, put him against the wall, grab the manacles, keep quiet, and cuff his hands and lock the manacles this time behind his back. What?
I wanted to finish what he was saying. If we don't take you back, what? We're in trouble. How?
If I don't issue the codes to let them know that everything is clear on a regular basis, we're all going to die. And I will happily die for this cause, for this house.
Oh, that's good. That's the plan.
And he just puts his hands behind his back, lets you manacle them, and just kneels on the ground. And there is a grin on his face.
So, codes.
Says, I said, what? The other ships will blow us out of the sky?
Yes. And his grin gets bigger.
All right, Red. We gotta take this port. We're moving this ship out of here. We gotta go.
All right,
You
guys,
come with me.
I'm gonna level with you. I'm not really a chaser. Red, isn't that kind of the plan? So, like, if we just knock this guy unconscious and leave him here, or throw him down one of these holes right here that are clearly illustrated on the map.
I was thinking we could just bring him with us.
Well, we're gonna keep
throw him off my ship.
We're keeping Blueface. We're gonna kick. You can, if you want to dump Redface down there, go for it.
No,
I have no problem with that.
If he doesn't issue the codes, the other ships destroy this ship, and that's equally convenient.
But we're gonna move it off, and they're gonna have to chase us anyways, so that's fine. Let's start the chase going. Let's get the ship out of here. So, Red, we need to take out Redface from the pilot's seat. Thank you. That's what I mean to say.
This blue face dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty average person, man.
Yeah, he is definitely not what you would call a combatant.
Okay, so he's kind of gangly.
Not gangly. He's a gentleman in his 40s, but he's I mean, you can see the age in his, sort of his face and his physique, but he's not somebody who what I would say was like athletic or muscular and built.
Basically, none of us could pose as him.
No.
Okay, that's I guess maybe was the question that I should have asked to start. Okay.
All right, let's go. We're gonna take this and get the red guy out of here too. So
I have a thought.
what?
Let's take this one and not tell anyone. Wait until the other ships blow this ship up. Then we go to their ship and we take their blue face. And then we go
We're
from
not
that ship
collecting skull faces
to
here.
the next one, and then they'll blow it up. They do everything for us.
That's actually a pretty good plan.
It's actually a good plan.
You're welcome.
We could just keep doing this over and over.
I mean, that's what I would do.
We just kill this guy. And then he
Except,
can't
okay,
get
hold on. The only problem is we need to take the red face out so he doesn't radio the other ships to warn them that we're coming.
You mean
true.
the dead one? Right? Oh, the one in there. Oh.
The one actually piloting this ship right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
New plan. I taught Nalos how to fly.
Yes. Wait.
We will kill the red face one. I will take control, fly this ship into another ship, jump out onto my ship. Nalos comes, picks me up.
Yes.
Save the day.
I like this plan.
That seems really extreme. Why don't you just run out of this room like an escaped prisoner, lead them away, let us get to the ship, and we will come get you.
That's a better plan.
Just run out like a liberated prisoner.
Now?
Don't we want to set this ship on a crash course for another ship first?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. I'm opening the door and coming in after the red face guy, and I'm pretty much gonna like chop his head open if I can.
Oh man.
I mean, not pretty much. I mean, he left the door open. He didn't say he closed it, so.
True story.
Mm-hmm.
I closed the door behind Talon. He's got his own thing going on there, and I'm searching this blue face guy.
Okay, so we're going to deal with this one at a time. We're going to start with the search of the blue face guy. All right, so give me a some sort of a focus or a what did we use last time for when you searched somebody? I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. But
Maybe it was a sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
that's going to be bad. Oh, I succeed.
All right, so you're kind of rifling through his purse, and he's just kind of grinning at you. He's like, "You're not going to find anything. I don't really have anything. You're not going to find anything." And that's when you notice that there is a compartment or like a sewn-in sort of like pocket that's sealed inside of his coat. And in looking at him, just like everything else about this particular ship and the circumstances of this individual, all of his clothes are well maintained. Like it's tailored, and so. When you discover that, he goes, that's when the smile cracks for a first time. And he says, no, you can't do that. And as you rip it open and you pull out a series of documents, you get a sense that he is panicking for the first time. And as you kind of pull them out and you begin to, to kind of look at them, you see that there are clearly a series of phrases and responses used for responding to sort of a situation where it's a challenge and response kind of sort of an interaction, and you can see that there are very clearly 3 phrases and there are 3 responses. And when he sees you kind of eyeing that's when he starts to panic and he says, "You can't, that's." And as you're kind of flipping through the rest of the papers and the documents that you see, you notice something else that's really interesting. There is a map of Gelspar itself. And the obvious interesting thing about that is none of the bridges or connecting parts to the rest of Adriel are marked on the map. Hacksaw Bridge is actually been eliminated from there.
Oh, thank God.
And you see 3
piece of paper out and throws it to the floor.
You see three clearly marked spaces on Gelspar, all very close to Starlight Commons, that appear to be marked as either safe houses or meeting points. And he looks at you and he's like, "No, no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to get into any of those spaces. You're not going to be able to stop us."
Yeah, but what if he's right here. What if Red? Sorry, we probably should have think of code names. What if Red takes this ship and just fires the cannons at these places? At the end of the day, they're just buildings. I'm pretty sure they'll crumble. I don't really need to get into them.
Just so you know, I mean, Red kind of is a code name. That's not my real name. My real name is Fourth Red Blossom Rose.
You're right. It is a code name.
Good job.
But what if, just
I want
saying,
a code name.
we just green? What if we fire the cannons at these houses?
Is that because I'm colorblind? Is that a jab?
You see the seriousness on On the blue's face, he looks at you and he says, "That'll be the last thing that you ever do. We will hunt you down no matter where you go. No place in the
told us
Azure."
that.
I've been getting that a lot lately, actually.
Yeah, we've been hunted a lot. We were swallowed by a worm.
And we
Perspective,
blew it up.
friend.
Yeah, it's been a day. Literally, it's been
72 hours.
It's been a solid 3 days. It's been the longest 3 days of my life. It's felt like 2.5 months. It's a rough situation, really.
I'm honestly just kind of astounded that you guys can't memorize these codes on your own. I mean, seriously, that's kind of embarrassing. You're supposed to be in charge.
He bares his teeth for the first time. This is not how this is supposed to end. You will not.
How is it supposed to end?
Ravel will be reborn.
Is that the house name, Johnny?
Yes.
Okay. I would know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That makes sense why Miat would show up. Zin Miat never shows up in the stories that go the way they're supposed to.
What?
The god I saw.
Okay.
He doesn't.
Worm.
Nope. We're not doing this right now.
Okay.
On an enemy airship
You've got a good point.
full of bad guys. The whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, say we do foil your plan. You're just gonna hunt us down.
Until you are all dead.
See, that's the thing, though, right? Like, I'm a guy who uses these kind of threats, and here's the thing: you've seen our face, but if everyone on the ship explodes,
Yeah, how are they gonna know who
Yeah.
it was?
yeah, that's the trick with threats. Is if you die, it kind of ends with you because no one knows our face. Because so far, all the chasers that have seen our face, we killed them.
You don't seem to remember meeting a number of chasers
Oh, we'll
In
kill
shadow.
them. We'll get them too. It's fine.
at the beginning
That's fine.
when you were talking to Maddox.
Yeah. That's fine.
Wait a second. Did I just understand that Maddox is involved in this?
No, the chasers he was with apparently are
Oh,
involved.
that he was with. Oh, okay.
The ones he hired who have betrayed us,
Right.
those ones.
Correct. Got it.
You don't actually know that as a fact, so it's a conclusion that she could jump to easily. Cathbad could definitely jump to that conclusion.
Okay. Rightfully jump to it?
I'm not saying rightfully. I'm not telling you exactly what's going on here, but it's a conclusion that you could easily make given the circumstances.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm gonna keep this alive. I'm gonna keep this alive, guys.
That seems good.
Yeah.
Fine.
Cool.
And as this conversation is continuing, the ship is starting to dip down as if it's heading down towards Gelspar. That's the only sensation that you can really kind of get a feel for. As we flip over to Talon. Talon, you step in the door and the door closes behind you, and you're shocked by it for just a second. As you can see that in this cockpit sort of area, it's a much sort of larger cockpit than the airships that you've been in before. But there's really only one seat, and there's a series of controls, and there's a set of there's a flight stick that's controlling sort of the movement and everything else, and there's various knobs and things, but it's all from this one sort of central sort of piece. And so he can't really see you, but the red is clearly trying to turn around and look at you. What's going on back there? Sir?
Would he be considered off guard since he's busy trying to man the airship and can't really, I don't know, defend himself?
He is literally flying an airship, trying to have his, divide his attention between talking to whoever's behind him, who he expects to be the captain, and fly this gigantic sort of galleon-sized airship. So yeah, he's definitely off guard and not really expecting to be killed.
Well, it's too bad for him then.
He's in my seat.
Exactly. I just step up and like gonna try to stab him pretty much through the head.
Is there any preparation that you're gonna just go through to make this happen, or are you just stabbing him through the head?
Well, I'm gonna step forward so I can make sure to get in range, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm like right on top of him right now, so I have heavy grip engaged. I have my sword is already out. So yeah, I was gonna just pretty much go for kind of a bone shatter blow and follow it up with a staccato strike kind of thing. Yeah, it's pretty
okay.
big amount. Yep.
Make your attack.
All right.
And make it an advantage.
Sweet. That's what I was looking for. Or something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Something? I mean, yeah, sure.
No, it's good. It's good.
I could take away advantage if you'd like.
No. There's no reason. Look, I got it twice in one game. You know how rare that happens? All right, I'm going to be rolling the dice. It's going to add together.
Look, I'm not Greg as the GM, all right? I don't hurt my players
much. No, they are. Yeah, we seem to manage to hurt ourselves. It's amazing. So
see, that's you guys bring the suck. I just use it against you. Wow.
There we go. There's that critical.
All right. So
okay.
How much damage do you actually do maximum?
Oh, that's sick. Let's see. 4d12 plus 7 times 1.5. So
he's dead.
Okay. Yeah, then pretty much he looks around. What is that? And my sword goes right through his eyeball into his brain. Yeah, pretty much. It's like 65 points or something. It's something insane. Okay, and then that's why the airship, as you so rightly mentioned, starts dipping down. And I call, "Hey, Red, your seat's open," and I kind of shove him out of the way.
Okay, so as you shove the body sort of out of the way,
yeah,
you shove the body out of the way. The blood sort of splatters a little bit, and you call back to Red, and that's where we just kind of bring everything back together. Yep. Red, you hear him calling for you.
Yeah, Red will run in, take a seat, start.
Step over the quivering body of the red skull, which
he doesn't even notice it. He doesn't even notice it. He's got a new toy to play with.
Perfect. All right, pick one.
Red, as you kind of enter, you assess the situation. You see Talon is just sort of trying to police a body off to the side as the airship is beginning to kind of dip a little bit. And as you kind of rear around, you see slunched into the seat with his finger pressed on the stick, pointing it down. Nyat, again, dressed in motley.
Oh no!
You're going to die. You understand that, right? And he's got his hand pressed on the flight stick to angle it down.
That really doesn't seem very fair.
As the ship just continues to do this, and it's angling towards Gelspar.
Johnny, is this happening in real time?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming I don't see what he's experiencing, but the ship is going and he's not like taking the seat yet, correct? I just want to make sure I'm clear on this.
Oh yeah, he just entered the room and he stopped. He's having an exchange with something. You haven't even looked around until you hear his voice.
Right, but I feel the ship kind of starting to tilt. I'm like, anytime now, buddy. Like having this guy down, searching him.
I'm gonna go for the control.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to yank the control back and right the ship. I just got this. I've been very polite.
It won't budge for you. I told you, death is your only option here. You were supposed to come with me. No, he does not. And he looks off to the side. And Talon, it's drawing your attention that he's having a conversation behind you. But all you hear is Red talking.
Okay, and I kind of like, I leave the body, look and see what the hell he's doing.
What you see that greets you is that Red is trying to grab and hold onto the air stick or the flight stick and kind of pull it back, but it appears to be pinned. But you don't see the physical being of Nyat there.
Right, exactly. Just like he's trying to pull the stick and it seems to be stuck for some reason. I will step over and lend my strength to helping him pull on the damn thing.
It won't budge, and there's no obvious reason why.
What is going on?
We should go. I think. Yeah. I mean,
we don't see this happening, right, Johnny?
You see through the doorway that there is something going on and there is a struggle, and the captain is even kind of leaning forward and going, "Why is the ship continuing to point down?"
I thought
brace
you were
my foot on the counter and pull with like all my strength.
It's not gonna work. We have to go.
Okay.
What did you do? You were supposed to just fly this thing.
I'm not doing anything. It's him.
Obviously, who?
I don't know what
And
any of
Yacht
this
is just
means.
kind of
He
looking
grabs the
back and
face.
forth at the two of you. Go ahead.
Fucking
Now.
around here.
He goes, I don't know what anything means right now. And he just grabs the blue guy and he starts to make for the door they came through.
Let's go. Route. Come on, Red.
Wait, they pointed this at Gelspar, right?
It's pointing down towards Gelspar, yes.
I'm not leaving as we allow a ship to crash into a city full of innocent people.
If you can move that stick, more power to you, sister. But I'm getting the hell out of here before the thing goes up in
So
a big
the person
fireball.
that put it in place, where's the person that put it that way?
Seated in the cockpit seat.
Dead.
Dead?
Is what Talon says. He assumes that somehow the
Okay. Captain
Sergeant
walks
guy
in there.
locked
I'm gonna take his dead hand and wrap it around this fucking stick and see if it'll move. Does it?
No.
I don't think it's gonna work. I'm telling you, the god is here, and we gotta go. He's trying to crash the ship.
That's bad. We are leaving.
And for Red, what he sees is he sees Nyat's grin just getting bigger and bigger as he's watching the exchange. He says, I'm only here for you, but I'll take them too. This looks like fun. I mean, your death is meaningless, but theirs is just going to be amusing. Now, I know it's not their time, and you see him talking off again. And he says, I know it's not their time, but come on, 4 for 1. And he kind of looks back at Red, and he says, you could save their lives if you would have just died. They wouldn't be in this situation.
I'm sorry, 54th of the 54. My path is still continuing. I choose to save all of us.
But why? What's the point? This is your moment to move on, to find out what's next. Isn't this what you've been waiting for?
No. It's too easy. This isn't my way.
Too easy.
But no, wait, come on. What is the point of toiling and dealing with all of this sort of like wandering and doing the big thing? Why not just take the easy path? I'm here. It's your time.
It's in the name. Your name is Zinmiat the Fool. That's why you can't understand. Mine is Fourth Red Blossom, grows in rocky soil. For me, I can't grow when it's easy. Thus, I must take the difficult path. I'm sorry, but I cannot help you.
That actually
Who
makes
is he
sense.
talking to?
I don't know.
You would
He's as crazy
choose.
as you are.
You would choose to not just go to advance. You would choose to. You would not choose the fact that I am offering you what is next. I am giving it to you. All you must do, and it is a hard thing to do for you mortals. I mean, I'm not mortal. I've never been mortal. I don't know what it's like. But for you mortals, the hardest thing is to give up the ghost, to leave the physical. But once you do, you can come with us. And I'm offering you all of that. That's a hard choice, right? That is a difficult choice, isn't it? Don't you enjoy life?
Before I left the Yellow Mountain Monastery, the best master I had, Blue Leaf, floats on the wind. He told me, remember, Red, shun not the struggle. Face it. Here we are. And I think Red is going to take one more pull on the lever. He's going to try one more time before he tries to leave.
I feel like Red needs some sort of a role here, but I'm not sure what's the right role to have
Fast talking a god.
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm not very good at it, but it makes sense.
But because of the boldness of this particular, approach, I'm gonna say you get a chance.
Oh, okay. Yes.
There's still a chance. Oh my god, that's a crit.
Fuck yeah.
So as you say the statement to him, and you reach out and you begin to pull, and he's like, and he looks, you see Nyat just kind of like, he's just smiling at you. It's like, it's not gonna work, buddy. And he like all of a sudden he just lets go and he goes, what do you mean? No, that is not the hardest choice. He is not, the challenge for me is not the hardest choice. No, he doesn't deserve it. And he's just having this conversation off screen, to somebody, and you're kind of amused at you see like the frustration on his face. All right, fine. And he kind of looks back over to you. You win this time, but I'll be back. Yes. Apparently this was the lesson to learn all along, is that, even in the face of being offered divinity and enlightenment, making the harder choice to not be enlightened by the easy path is the right thing to do. All right. Well,
you couldn't have offered me enlightenment anyway. That's not my path. You still don't understand.
I still don't know who he's talking to.
I think Red like pulls the lever, and it's like the ship's about to like scrape down, and he starts tipping it back up, and he's laughing, and he's talking like to the group as well. He's like, "Did you guys see that? You believe now, right? You have to believe now."
I don't see anything. I see you talking to a chair like a crazy person.
Do you have the ship under control?
You said that like it means something else.
You didn't.
So as this exchange is going on for you, Red, you see as you're kind of pulling back and the ship is beginning to right itself, you hear Miat say one more time, "Oh, all right," as he's kind of looking off, and he pulls the flight stick back with you, and the ship, for whatever reason, immediately just rights itself in a very fast motion, sending you all off, sort of, off kilter for just a second. And he says, "They'll never believe you, and I'll be back. This isn't the last time we've talked. I just want you to know that." And he fades.
See you soon, Zinmiat the Fool. I'll be waiting.
Ooh,
See you soon, Red.
I'm no fool.
I'm not leaving.
Oh,
The god left. Now that's why we're alive.
the gods left.
No, just the one. He's still around somewhere.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
Red's now flying the ship casually. Like he's just like trying to like.
Yeah, when the ship righted itself, I started to rise again, which I was almost at the hangar. He goes back and says, "Why are you still all here?"
I got it. I figured it out. I talked it out with the god. I convinced him that I was right.
Steering lock.
I look at Nellis. Steering lock. Okay. All right. Great. Where are we going?
The steering lock.
Nalos, do you still have those papers?
Yes.
I am unable to read them, but maybe you can find the one to get them to blow up this ship.
Genius of them to write in red and green only. Wait, why would I get them to blow up the ship?
No, I am both colorblind and illiterate.
That makes
is there something
so
in there to
much
call
more
off?
sense.
Yeah. Is there something that'll get them to call off the attack on Gelspar?
Oh.
No, this is a list of challenge and passwords. They don't mean anything unless someone issues a challenge, and then I respond with a password, and then
What
they
if
don't
we
blow me
issue
up.
the challenge?
That's not how these work.
Oh.
And at that, you hear the crackle from the corner, and there's a little machine in the corner with a little like sort of glowing yellow light, and you hear challenge check-in. Ship 2, are you there?
Hands it to Nalis.
Oh shit,
Don't.
that's us.
If we don't answer it, they won't.
Speckled rock. Ship 2, speckled rock.
Rocks are speckled.
Checks out, Ship 2. What's your current status? Why aren't you taking out the next chain?
Shit, there was like so many of them. That was a shot in the dark. Need ammo resupply.
How many chains have you taken out? You're only scheduled to take 2. You took out the first one. You should have enough for the second one.
There was
Moving into position.
There was a ship-to-ship combat, and we had to expend extraneous ammunition. We're moving into position. We'll expect resupply. Goodbye.
Give me a fast lock roll.
Okay. Wait, because I'm the ship's captain, can it be leadership?
I believe we're sitting in the captain's chair,
you
buddy.
can totally.
It's the failure anyway. It's a 19.
We didn't see any particular type of combat, ship-to-ship combat. What were you responsible for the destruction of the other airship?
There was a small airship. Something dragon was the call sign. There was a guy. He fell out of the sky and attacked our ship. We've taken several casualties on board the ship. Checks out.
All right. Move to rendezvous point 1.
Roger.
Who's Roger?
Shut up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who
Over.
was that was speaking to you?
Over. It's my first mate.
All right.
You know,
Radio goes dead.
old red face. Yeah, he's gonna.
All right. So you've successfully navigated that conversation.
Kind of.
Amazingly.
I don't know how successful it was.
And the rendezvous point 1 that is actually mentioned is indicated on the map. It's one of the 3 locations that you found there. So
Aren't we supposed to be drawing them off? I thought the plan was to leave and help to draw the chaser ships off with us. Have we changed that plan? Are we abandoning that plan? I don't care.
I don't think that was really ever a plan. Why would they follow one ship when they're just here to blow up the chains?
Well, you were supposed to shoot at them first to poke at them.
Get their attention, poke the bear, so to speak.
Right.
Poke the barb cat.
Okay. Why don't we still do that?
Is that how it works?
I'm game.
I assumed that was what the gunnery crews did.
Yeah, you can't access the guns from up here.
That's why he said he thought that's what the gunnery crews down there did.
Right. Yeah.
They're probably waiting for orders, which means we'd have to convince them to fire elsewhere. Otherwise, we have to take over our gun station and shoot ourselves. I'm not sure it's not going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Red, I think this means I'm the captain again. In which case, aft to stern.
Who?
Is that right? Whatever. Point the long side of the ship at the other ships.
Red starts to do so.
Port to whatever the hell. Can't wait till I'm on the ground. And he goes over to that. Is that the only communications array, or is there a secondary one?
that's the only communications array. There are three switches on it though. There's one that it's currently turned to, and then there are 2 others.
What do they say? What do the other ones say?
1, 2, and 3.
Cool.
And it's currently set to 3.
I'm gonna turn that one off and set it to 1.
And when you turn it to 1, you hear a bunch of ship-to-ship communication going on. Chain 3 coordination almost done. Chain 3 link is almost down. There are only 2 chains left.
And he switches on to 2.
Pure silence.
Perfect. Gun crew, this is bridge. Gun crew, this is bridge. Over.
Gun crew to bridge. What can we do for you? Why are you using this?
What?
Why are you using this channel?
We need you to go ahead and expend all rounds.
We're not targeted at anything, sir.
Target at the other ship.
Red, target the other ships. Red, target the other ships.
I thought
You gotta give them a target. There's gotta be something over there.
Which one?
All of them.
Any of them. The closest one. The nearest one.
The big one.
The big one.
The big one.
Fred targets the big one.
All right, target locked. Go ahead and expend all rounds.
So as you slowly move the ship into position, sir, that's one of our chaser ships. I know that we were supposed to watch out for city guard ships, but why are we targeting one of our own? That's
They didn't compromise.
We have it under good authority that some rebels have taken the ship and will be turning it against us to
they didn't give their code.
defeat the fleet. They haven't given a code. There hasn't been a radio check in
A while.
15 minutes.
Sir, this isn't protocol. Why? Who the hell is this?
No, this is the captain speaking.
Blueface.
And they issue a challenge that's not found on the actual paper.
Fuck. Okay, what is it? What challenge?
They issue the challenge of, let's see. I need some. Fuck. They issue a challenge about what's the best place to buy skewers in the red market.
The icicle graveyard.
Oh boy.
That's not. I was winging that one.
No shit.
That's not
Now give me a fast talking.
That wasn't on the paper, guys.
Do I need to head down to the gunnery
I
cruise?
I don't succeed.
We're gonna send somebody up there to kind of check in with you, sir. We're concerned. That's not the correct response. Until then, please stay off the radio. Click.
Roger that.
Cathbat, I think we need to go down to the gunnery teams.
I don't. I'm gunning.
They're gonna help us
Personally-
convince them.
I think this is time to crash and run, if you ask me.
I say we. Can you make that handle stick again?
Yeah, we'll set it into a collision course, we'll lock the doors behind us, and we'll get the heck out of here.
Let's do it. Okay, make it happen.
We should move quickly.
Come on, Blueface, you're coming with us.
Yeah, take him with us. Yeah, I want
Oh
him.
hell yeah.
He's my
He's
souvenir.
already over my shoulder.
Have
Okay,
you
good,
ever
good.
been to the Glades?
Red,
God.
while this is happening, is going to try to lock a collision course with the biggest, baddest ship he can see, and then snap off the handle.
Well, so there are three airships that are still visible to you as the chain begins to fall from one of the 6 chains that was attaching Gelspar to every the rest of the city, and that ship is slowly beginning to turn as you're angling towards it. It's moving in a direction towards another one. Are you actually going to ram this one?
It's moving in a
direction towards another one of the chains.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Rama Lama Ding Dong.
Ram it up.
All right, give me a knowledge roll.
Come on, Red. Master airship collisionist.
He's not even a pilot. He's just a collisionist.
Not a pilot.
No!
It
As
tricks
you're
me.
beginning,
The green always makes me feel so happy.
it does. It really does. As you're beginning to move the ship in that direction, it's moving a little too slow for you. You're having to rethink the way that you pilot, because you're moving something that actually moves a lot slower and requires a lot more deliberate effort. And so as you're doing that, there's a knock at the door.
Wait, are we?
No, not the right knock. That was not the right knock. I wrote it down.
I'm gonna.
Oh, I say let him in.
I'm gonna make Red succeed.
What?
It's the season finale.
You're gonna use your tide turner?
No, I used Decorated General, which allows me
Okay.
to change the result from any one person by plus or minus 4. So I'm going to subtract 4 from that and make it a 16. And then I'm going to expend my Emberwind spark and drop it by another 4 and make it a 12, which succeeds.
Yes!
I've
Nice.
blown it all!
Yes!
Yes!
Crash that ship!
Crash that ship. Crash that ship.
Ship moves much quicker as Red is able to kind of just angle it around, and it's headed on a collision course.
Nalos walks over and goes, steering lock. And he hits the button.
Alright.
Yeah, so Red snaps off the handle, and he's like, ready, guys?
Yes.
Yes, quickly.
Oh.
I'm gonna open the airlock door.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you open the airlock door. You see some people that are rushing towards you. Some chasers that are rushing towards you, and they take an assessment, looking at the situation. What's going on in there? I understand that the captain is.
Stab.
Nalos grabs the head of the guy, the blue guy is holding, and puts his head out. Everything's fine.
All right. So, are we stabbing or are we fast?
I'm stabbing. I don't care what he's doing. I the first guy who like. Even,
I'm behind him anyway. So
yeah.
All right. So we're gonna take some creative liberty here and say that as you make that happen, as you know you make the captain sort of stand out and kind of start to mimic the conversation. He starts to yell, but Talon is able to slip out in time and stab both of those guys that are coming up. Okay. What are you doing, guys, to get off this ship as it's about to explode?
We need to get back to our ship, so we're running down the corridor, getting the hell back to our ship on it, and getting the hell out of here.
Correct.
That seems like a good plan.
That's the goal.
So as the four of you dragging the captain make your way onto the ship, the two guys in the airlock area where your berth ship is, they kind of look and say, "What's going? Where's the captain? What's going on here?"
Everything's fine. We're getting on the other ship.
Nothing.
Unlock the ship right now.
Hell no. We don't have any orders to release
this. This is a lawful order from your captain.
I flick my sword out and slash him across the cheek. You will not have a head if you do not do what I say right now. Now do it.
That one guy's very aggressive. Roll.
Sure. That's 6.
Immediately, the both of them like, look, we're not armed, and they start like unlatching the airship as the four of you loading the captain in are able to load into the
Exactly.
Red gets on the ship, and then like we see Red's head poke out. He's like, "You do seem like nice fellas. You want to get on? This ship is not going to be ending well."
Sure. What does that even mean?
Well, we'll explain later. I would just hop on board.
And that's when the ship slams into the other one as there's explosions starting, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And as they're moving towards you to try to get onto the ship is actually dislodged because they had released the sort of the mooring locks. And the ship just kind of slides out and starts to float away as you can see the two airships sort of meeting each other.
Well, I'm sorry.
Must go faster, Red. Must go faster.
It seems that our paths are diverging here. Good luck to you, and I hope you don't die. Runs back to the cockpit.
And as you're able to kind of pull the airship away just as it's continuing to slam in, the explosions are really kind of taking off and happening, and there's all kinds of like gunpowder explosions.
Wow.
Various sort of ammunition.
It's like the skiff sailing away from the sail barge in Jedi. It is just blowing up. There you go.
Exactly. But so what's interesting about it is, as I described before, because the airships have such large hearth crystals, the debris is just sort of expanding out, in all directions and not getting, kind of pulled in by gravity. Mm-hmm. And so you're able to kind of make your way and propel yourself away. And just there's, we see this sort of sunset shot of like, the airships kind of pulling away as the ships are exploding and things are happening. What are you guys doing now?
I guess it's time to go to what's his face's place in the span and report in.
Yeah, how many ships are all the ships exploded?
Oh no, there's still 2 airships that are doing their thing.
Okay.
I mean, it seems we cannot stop them from severing Gelspar from Adriel unless we're going to keep ramming and hoping that Red's crazy luck is going to see us through. And I think we've pushed that pretty far so far. I think we've done what we could.
Yeah, I don't know that we can pull that off again.
Yeah, I think it's time
to pull it off in another 5 minutes, but sure.
We try.
Well, if it's a smaller ship, can't I use the wind to help move us?
You sure can.
We're not taking on 2 other ships, though, is the problem. We're going to leave because they're going to cut Gelspar loose. I think we can't stop them from doing that, it would seem.
I think Catherine's saying use the wind to help us get away.
Oh, yeah, get away faster.
Okay. Sure. Sorry.
Yes, that's all. As for Gelspar...
That's a good move. Yes, I like that move.
Well, hopefully they will be concerned with their own ships and forget the chains.
So we're in the cockpit of the Red Dragon now, right? That's what I'm calling this ship.
Is that really the name of it now?
Yeah. What was the other one? What was the little one?
Gilded Drake.
The Gilded Drake. This is the Red Dragon, one that Red stole.
It is an upgrade.
So if we're in the bridge of this one, Nalus kind of points. He goes, "We could." He points towards the Silver City. Is that what it's called? Where all the big rich people live?
What is it? The Celestial Plateau.
Celestial Plateau.
Yeah.
That's the one. He points in that direction. He goes, "We could we could go to Maddox and either confirm that he was two-timing us, or that he's too weak to do anything because he was partnered with them to begin with, or, and he points slightly over in one of the other, like, many mansions, we could go there, to my house, and have them deal with it. You can put that coin to good use, Talon.
Why did we not do this
The
before?
coin I haven't, well, keep in mind, we haven't gotten paid for the end of the mission. We did, as Randy said, we did deliver.
The coin I gave you.
Oh, that coin.
Yeah.
That's a completely different matter.
Right.
And I will have payment from Maddox for this because we did accomplish what he set us out to do.
Yeah, I'm sure. But my
so-
family will also have payment from Maddox because he owes us a council seat.
Maddox owes you a council seat?
Did you miss the deal I struck in episode 2?
Maddox isn't even on the council himself, and now you want him to guarantee you a seat too. That's interesting logic.
That was the whole point of the saving of Gelspar.
Well, then going in to yell at him and say he's in league with the Chasers is not a good way for your family to get that seat, is it?
Well, if they kill him, and then the other 3 families that are forming the Trinity, that leaves 3 open seats and a dead Maddox. So, win-win.
It sounds like there's plenty of work to be done. I will acquiesce to what the rest of the team does. Either way is good for me because it sounds like coin will be crossing my palm no matter what.
So we're just going to let Gelspar fall.
I mean, we can't stop it right this second.
Drift at this point.
Yeah. And there's like 2 ships left, big ships or 3 left ships?
Didn't I make this point just a few hours ago? And I want to think all of you said those people cannot care for themselves, feed themselves, that the island of Gelspar will die.
Yep, it's still a fact.
If I recall correctly, I actually agreed with you then.
Oh, Red had this was my thought. Let them evolve.
Well, they'll evolve. At least they won't fall out of the sky. They're just going to kind of float away. So maybe they can just reattach with ropes or something. I don't know, because they're not going to fall now with the hearth crystal in place unless they've removed it. They should be fine.
Pull them with the remaining chains to somewhere else?
And this ship just cannot pull that thing. Are you?
I mean, it's a floating island.
We're not a tugboat. Look, I want to either go to Maddox or go to your place and figure out the end game of this.
House Desterosi has a fleet, so.
Well, why didn't you call in reinforcements then?
Yes, let me call in reinforcements. Hello, reinforcements.
Well, there's a radio right. Wait, this boat doesn't have a radio, does it?
It does. It talks to the other boats that the Chasers work with.
Oh, I don't know how these damn things work.
I don't either.
It's short-range communication. God.
Really, I want to go back to the Glades. So however we do that.
I think we should all just go get paid. I get to get Maddox to give me things. Cathbad, he obviously owes you something. I mean, you blew up that ship with us.
All right.
Yes.
Maddox it is then.
Yep.
Yeah, Red flies off.
And that's what Talon looks around like, damn, my Rift Mage is gone.
So as you begin to make your way from Gelspar, you come up above the city, heading towards the Celestial Plateau, you take in the real differences between some of the various, districts of the city. Of course, Gelspar is a slum for the most part and is usually in darkness, and the buildings are dilapidated. As you climb altitude and make your way over the Silver Spire, the expanse of that particular, the Silver Spire, you sort of you see the everything just sort of like green and lush, bathed in sort of the setting sunlight. And you come over to the Celestial Plateau, which is the sort of gigantic, sort of opulent, setting. The buildings here are mansions and sort of large estates, and various sort of like beautifully architected buildings. And given the information that Maddox gave to you, you come into one of these sort of locations, sort of on the towards the edge of one of the plateau itself. That's considered more of like the merchants district of where those estates are for various merchants and sort of traders. And you come in and you bring the airship in to dock next to one of the sort of the towering spires, as you see Maddox just sort of standing out there, shaking his head like this, waiting for you to show up. And as the four of you just kind of begin to emerge, sort of on this deck that's just like, it's almost like a balcony with like a sort of a bridging sort of area for the airship to land. He looks at you and he says, I thought I instructed you to bring me the crystal.
I thought the crystal was supposed to be saving Gelspar.
And that was my job. Your job was to return the crystal to me.
Man, it's been a long 3 days. We get eaten by a worm.
No, we cut that from a worm. So you're telling
eaten
me
by it, then cut it out of it, then flew out of its ass,
you
I
are.
think.
So you're telling me you are upset simply because you did not save the people?
No, I'm upset because you didn't follow orders.
Sometimes there are things more important than your orders.
Why did you not bring it to me?
There was kind of a lot going on at the
The
time.
chaser airships were severing the entire plateau. By the time we brought it to you, then somehow magically had you stop the chaser airship attack, get back there and install it, Gelspar would be at 1,000 pieces on the ground. What am I missing here?
I will go out on a limb and say it is because he did not plan to put the crystal on Gelspar.
That's kind of the impression I'm getting too, Cathbad.
I don't think you understand. This is all according to plan. You needed to bring the crystal to me.
Whose plan? I'm sorry, I missed that part, I think.
Your plan?
Just a point of fact, if we were
Council's
supposed
plan?
to bring the crystal to you, then it isn't going all according to plan. I thought that was the issue.
There is nothing to be done. Come inside and I will give you your payment and I will send you on your way. And he turns and he steps inside.
Oh, good. All right. Well,
So it is going according to plan.
after you.
I think I will forego my payment. I will watch from here.
I'll bring
Okay.
your share. I'll bring your share back because this guy is not going to take advantage of me. Alice, are you coming?
Yeah, I'm coming.
I mean, it's another noble house. There's no way he's going to move against you either. At least I don't think so.
I'm definitely coming. I just met one of the most dangerous beings in history, if the stories are to be said. I mean, what's this guy going to do to me?
Stepping inside.
I don't know
Johnny.
what that means.
I don't know either. A stuck airship control is the most dangerous thing he's ever encountered. I don't get it.
I don't know. Whatever.
So walking inside.
And Cathbad is staying outside, is that correct?
I am gonna just keep kind of a watch.
So the three of you step inside as Cathbad remains on the balcony.
Actually, I want to go back to Cathbad real quick. Because
Okay.
covering, like hiding it, don't you still have that black powder bomb?
Do I have a black powder bomb?
You do.
Yeah. Give that to me.
What?
Give it to me.
Oh,
Give it to me.
no.
I may need it. We may need it to get out alive. Give it to me now.
Oh,
Hopefully, I won't have to use it. I'll give it back to you. I promise.
I reach way deep inside my cleavage and pull it out.
fine. Now you hand it to you.
And I can seal it in my pouch under my cloak and walk back inside. I'm still wearing the chaser cloak and the face paint. By the way, I haven't taken it off. All right, let's go back inside.
Keep an eye on my crew, Cathbad. Make sure they don't steal the ship.
Right.
Like she would know what to do if they started to try to steal the ship.
Okay.
Was the captain? Is the blue-faced captain guy wearing a hat?
No.
Oh. Was anyone on the ship wearing like a good hat that Red could have stolen?
Nobody apparently wears hats in this particular world. Sorry.
They are not stylish. Only masks.
It is a hat-free world.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Red
This is not Honey Heist.
Red thinks about how good he would look in a nice captain's hat as he enters Maddox's building.
Maybe I can get that at the red market. Step it inside.
So the the 3 of you step inside with leaving Cathbat outside. And what you step into as Maddox continues to move towards the center of this room. This room is circular and representative of the fact that the confines of this, or the area of this room, kind of fits into sort of the tower that is built off of his estate. But this is a real interesting sort of room. It's open, and there are like 3 levels. And there's a stairway down, and there appears to be, sort of exits to other balconies, around the place, sort of around this level. And he steps in and heads towards the center of the room where there's this large table, and there are various items on this table. And he says, "I wasn't expecting you to come directly to there. I was going to bring you up here, but I'm glad that you're here." And he says, "Come this way. Where is Cathbad? What is her deal? She needs to come inside and take her payment."
She's watching the ship.
She's requested that I take her payment for her and bring it to her. Enclosed areas bother her, especially after being inside a worm and several airships that then blew up in quick succession.
Fine. All right, come inside. And he motions you, and on the table are various bags of what appears to be coinage. And he looks at the 3 of you, and he says, "Well, here it is."
Okay.
Seems good.
What are you going to do now?
Well, now you got to also pay us for those other airships we blew up. Talon said I could name my price. You said, Talon.
I did say. I never said he'd pay it, but I said you could name your price. I look back at Maddox and kind of just shrug.
I'm not paying for airships.
Well, it's not paying for the airships. It's paying for the destruction of the airships. And probably the information you might want to know about those airships, too, but that's another matter. Oh, and the Rift Mages and the Silverglades. You probably want to know about that, too. But that's another matter.
All I care about is knowing what you plan to do next. This isn't about payment anymore. Payment has been delivered. Is our deal done, or are you going to work for me again?
Oh, well, since you were so seemed perturbed by our previous execution of your job, I would have thought that might have been on the outs, but
well, you've clearly caused a number of problems for me and haven't executed the plan as expected. So I'm going to demand a little bit more from you the next time. But you do decent work. You at least did some part of the job correctly.
This is not how I was expecting this to go. I thought you were going to be very thankful.
You didn't do your job to the letter. I have a mess to clean up.
I mean, I feel like you probably had a mess either way. Because if we didn't do our job, there'd be an island falling from the sky.
I see.
Right. Now there's just an island slowly drifting to the left.
The operation will continue. The island will be separated. Gelspar will be its own independent place. You've ensured that by your fumbling.
Well, better than the place falling to the ground and killing thousands, but, the win's a win.
He shrugs and he says, "All right, fine. You know what? I don't need you. You're not very good at your job, and clearly you don't want the work." And so he walks over to Nalos and he offers his hand, and he says, "I think it's time for us to part ways. Let us do it as friends."
Is anything in his hand?
No.
I have, what is it? Was there one talisman from the dude in the gold skull? Right?
Sure.
The blue skull didn't have one, right?
Sure. Yeah, the blue one didn't have it. He had it on his face.
Okay. Yeah, I don't Yeah, I think he has it like I think he like reaches in the same place to grab another like as if he's grabbing another coin, and he looks at Maddox the whole time, but he slips in and around his wrist when he pulls out is the chain dangling that other family's emblem, and he shakes his hand and it like jingles on his wrist. As friends.
And he looks at it, he grabs it, and he says, "That's really too bad." And as he does that, he reveals from his shirt sleeve that same symbol tattooed on his arm.
I knew it.
And he says,
knew it.
Are you sure you don't want to reconsider?
You already owe me one favor.
That's funny. And I'm here to repay it. And that's when the guards begin to move in. Cathbad, you see them begin to kind of come around the balcony, and the blades all start to come pointing in your direction. There's at least 10 of them facing you. As the rest of them begin to kind of funnel into the room. Blades all pointing and says, "You know too much now.
But
You can either agree to work for me, or you can meet your fate."
I suggest a third option. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, Nalos.
I'm holding a thermal detonator? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, no, just a black powder bomb.
Okay. It's the same difference, right?
Mm-hmm. But like I said, Nalos has the floor. If you guys are talking, I don't want to get in the way of your transaction here.
That is true. Oh, man. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Nalos he's a good family guy. He says this is never gonna happen.
Really? It appears to be, to me, that you are outnumbered and your allegiance is in question.
To be fair, we were also outnumbered on that airship. I mean, look how that went for them.
Yeah, or any of the other airships we took, or at the fountain where we took out 20 guys.
Red, your assessment in this situation, as you're saying that, you're kind of looking around, you're at least surrounded by 50 guys, or sorry, 50 house guard of the House Maddox with swords.
Red feels very much like he just stared the devil down and won the staring contest. It's going to be rather hard to intimidate him at the moment.
And besides, Maddox, it doesn't matter if you have 50, 100, 200, or every single guard your family owns. If I set this bomb off, you become a sticky red paste on the wall. And all the guards in the world are not going to prevent that from happening.
I already faced a god once today. I'm prepared to face the great one.
Don't listen to him. He's crazy. I, however, and this bomb are very real. This goes off, we all die. It's very simple.
Never taking his eyes off of Nalos, hand still shaking, revealing, hand still in hand as the medallion is sort of dangling there, with his other hand just sort of like holding onto his sleeve, revealing. He's looking at Nalos and he says, "House Revel is bigger than just me. You have met my niece, Piper, haven't you?"
I'm aware of her.
Revel goes on, and our plan will come to fruition. You can either be a part of this, and he looks back at Talon, or we can all meet Red's maker.
No, God, not you too.
I feel like you're the one who has the choice, Maddox. There was already a deal struck between you and House Desterosi, and you can either follow through and invite them to your little plan, or you can kill us now and see what happens.
I'm prepared to die, as are all of these. House Revel will live on. House Desterosi, his time is limited. It is your choice, not mine.
We'll see. If you're successful, House Revel fell and rose again. Who's to say mine won't?
Is that your final answer?
Absolutely. And he looks over to Talon.
And he lets go of the hand, and he says, "Fine." And he looks around at the guards. "Well, boys, I think we're in for a fight.
You hear Cathbad from the outside go, should I kill them?
Apparently.
Okay.
I thought we were blowing us up. I thought that was how this ends.
Well, if he draws that sword off his back, yes, that is going to be how it's going to at least start with this bomb going off in his face.
Maddox slowly begins to withdraw his sword as the rest of the house guard begins to move in, including the ones towards Cathbad. And as we're beginning to fade out in this particular situation, as the scene just sort of, focuses in on the four of you in your various, circumstances, Red, you notice off towards the back, sitting in a chair, legs just sort of dangling off the side over an armrest, smiling. You hear a small voice say, I told you I'd see you again. Are you ready to come this time? And we just sort of fade to black on his face.
Well done.
Wow, that was terrific.
Good. Good.
Well done. Well done. Guys, that was the series finale of the Emberwind RPG campaign called Unsung. And if anything, our heroics were unsung.
They were something.
Yeah, because he definitely exploded in a hail of fire.
Oh my God.
Cathbad survived, I think.
I have one question. I honestly have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Does Talon really think that using the bomb is the right thing to do, or would he just get into the fight? I mean, because it's in his hands at this particular point. And as Midas is saying in chat, no, it's not a TPK. This would be the biggest fight that you guys would have faced so far. What would Talon have done there?
Well, he's torn between shoving it down Maddox's pants or using it to blast a hole through to get back to the ship. Theoretically, it could be one of two options there.
Okay.
So
I was just curious.
Yeah, it could have gone either way. It really did. It really kind of would depend on what Nalos said to do. If he'd given him some extra actions, he might have changed his mind. But right now, he was going to follow through on his threat and blow Maddox the hell up.
I feel like I think it was
combat. That's what would have happened.
I think it was Troy that it happened in. But there was a scene where, was it Brad Pitt in Troy? Yeah. Where, Brad Pitt is Achilles, and there's, a fire or something, or something explodes, and he takes his little round shield and just jumps up into, a cannonball position and, gets blown up but still survives. And, that's what I have in my head as Nalos. Is, Talon's all right, fuck it. Boop! And he hits the button, and you just see Nalos with his tower shield just go, and just squish behind it, and then
oh my God, that'd be hilarious. And then I would get back to back with you, so I could blast through the guards we'd be blasting through as detonation sent us backwards. That is hilarious. Oh my God,
that would be good shit.
That'd be hilarious.
Guys, that being said, this is the series finale. This is the last episode of Unsung. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the donations, all the subs, all that kind of fun stuff, and all the new patrons. Let's go around, introduce our cast and crew for the final time here, and find out a little bit about what's coming in a few weeks on Tuesday nights. We will go to the wonderful, magnanimous Chelsea, a.k.a. Little Red Dot. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
I'm Dot. You can find me on the internet as Little Red Dot. On Twitch and Twitter, I am up to so many things right now. It's interesting. April's going to be a little bit of a change. I'm not doing as many things out on other networks just because my new job, I need to actually get it under control. But I'm going to be launching some really fun things over on my channel, which is very exciting. So my Patreon has supported a brand new campaign of Witch Girl Adventures. So you can come watch the all ladies teenage drama witchiness. That will be that campaign starting Tuesdays in April. You can continue to catch me over on the Roll For It Network on the weekends and with the North by Northwest podcast. And as to not ruin anything, I will let Mike tell you things because he convinced me to do something.
Yeah, I did. Also convinced to do something next season. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to, man?
I am Sam. Twitch.tv/WizandFool, Twitter @TheWizandFool. I'm doing some different stuff. I've got a podcast I'm going to be recording for actual play thing with AP Gaming Real. That is going to be released, I believe, sometime in April. So I'll be tweeting that out when that happens. I was also, they kindly enough invited me back on for another show in the next cycle. So I will be back playing more on Unmade's channel, not Red, but we'll be making up a new character, doing some new adventure, and yeah.
You know, I feel like the name Fourth Red Blossoms in Rocky Soil is still applicable for the next season.
That would actually be kind of funny
right?
if I just chose the exact same.
Because you died, and like that's your incarnation, right? That would be hysterical. Man, that's good shit. Let's jump over to John Helpers. John, who are you? Where can we find you, and what are you up to, my dude?
Hey, folks, this was a very interesting take on the Skies of Axia campaign. Well done by everyone. Johnny and the crew was great. I'm Radio Johnny Panda on Twitch and Discord and Twitter, other places. Let's see, Thursday, I actually pick up where I am running my own Skies of Axia, where the group is just encountering the worm, and that's going to be very interesting. Probably go a little bit differently than this one. And then Saturdays, I'm on our Valorant's channel, where we do Curse of Strahd. And things are getting heated up over there too. But this has been a blast. I really thank Johnny and Mike for having me aboard. This was a lot of fun. And a great game, great stream, great chat, great everything, guys. Thanks so much.
And last, but always on this channel, at least for the last 2.5 years, least, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Johnny, Video Store Cowboy, everywhere except on Twitch, where I'm on Twitter, where I'm Vid Store Cowboy. I am up to more tabletop on something coming up very soon on this channel, I think, and doing some world building for that. Something that's coming up on this channel soon, and just finishing up a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn on my channel. And anxiously looking forward to that little something that's going to get announced
right now. It's actually getting announced right now. So speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn, Johnny did the same thing that every DM does, and he steals everything. That being said, we are taking the Cypher system core rules, mixing them with Predation rules, and some Horizon Zero Dawn gameplay, thematic elements, and setting and that kind of thing. And Johnny's running a new game called The Seekers, where we definitely don't play futuristic Native Americans who fight giant metal robots that are dinosaurs. Only that's exactly what we're doing.
That doesn't happen at all.
That's 100% what we're doing. That's gonna be the Tuesday stream. Yeah, right. That's gonna be the Tuesday stream coming up on April 9th, I believe, is the date for that one. As Chelsea alluded to, there is another game coming up on April 11th. That is also gonna be Cypher Systems. That's gonna be a spooky game run by me. That's gonna be super awesome. It's the first game I've run on the channel in a hot minute. But if you guys want to follow Johnny on his quest to make a game that I won't ruin, go follow him on twitch.tv/VideoStoreCowboy, in which he's doing world building, some campaign prep, some session prep, and then I'm going to shit all over it for 12 weeks straight. It's going to be great. That being said, guys, we're going to go raid our lovely, wonderful, amazing friend Lindy over at Laugh Love Lindy. She is currently playing Mists of Ravenloft, so go give her a follow. Go give her all of your hot, sticky raid love. And from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.